Ladies and gentlemen, we are live!
I'm Jerry.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Tom.
Live from the CSB studios in Westbury, New York,
it's the Tom and Jerry Sports Show.
featuring co-host Kevin Dolan and the host that's been here since day one, Jerry Napoleonello.
On Zeno Radio and
On All Noise Radio.
What is up, Tom and Jerry Sports Show? You're live with Jerry Napoleonello and Kevin Donlin on Zeno Radio, All Noise Radio, on the Live 365 app. Special Tom and Jerry Sports Show today. We're usually on Tuesdays. We're here on Thursday because it's official. NFL is back tonight.
You got that right. Thursday night football, the New England Patriots play host to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes.
Should be a good one.
It's going to be a real good one, and obviously it's going to be a good one mainly because number 12 is going to be under center.
Yeah, Tom Brady back in full form, and I'll be honest with you folks, he is going to be one angry man tonight and for the rest of the season. I remember the last time this guy was angry, and it didn't end well for a lot of these opposing teams.
No. I think this game's going to be a good one. Really not much of a defensive game in this game.
Well, I think with the loss of Troy Polamalu, I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers defense has definitely got a different persona, basically. Yeah. Definitely a new perspective of them right now, and definitely anything but intimidating. Right now, the intimidating part of the Pittsburgh Steelers is the offensive side of the football with their big-time running back, their big-time quarterback, and their big-time receiver, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, and Ben Roethlisberger.
Obviously, not having Le'Veon Bell kind of hurts for Pittsburgh.
It's going to hurt for one game. I mean, listen, it's one game. It's all or it's two games without Le'Veon Bell. I think D'Angelo Williams is definitely a very good backup to have, especially as a borrow player for the first week or two. When it comes to Pittsburgh, this is, an offensive team now. They've changed, their style of play, still under the same head coach and Mike Tomlin. They go from being a defensive powerhouse now to an offensive powerhouse, and basically there really is imbalance with this team. It's like as soon as the defensive players started to retire for this team, then came in these big offensive names in Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, Martavius Bryant, obviously not going to be playing tonight as well. So a big hit for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're missing a lot of guys tonight. It could be a big impact for this team. But honestly, when it comes to the New England Patriots, they're losing a couple of guys too. They're looking at a defense that has no Vince Wilfork, no Darrelle Revis. This is not the Super Bowl winning defense that they had last year. So their defense really, they do add their middle linebacker. Who was it, that guy that got hurt for them last year?
Jared Mayo.
Yes, Gerard Mayo obviously went down early in the season for them. A lot of people thought it would be a big hit to that defense, but they had a lot of good leaders on that defense, a lot of leaders on offense, and they were a well-brought team, and that's why they won last year's Super Bowl.
Even just this is everybody that they've lost this year. Shane Vereen.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Ridley.
A lot of running backs.
Jonas Gray.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Wright, the tight end. Dan Connolly, their guard. Vince Wilfork is a big loss. Akeem Ayers. Jonathan Casillas. Chris White. Darrelle Revis. Brandon Browner. Kyle Arrington. So this is...
definitely not the same defense that won that Super Bowl. When it comes to tonight... I personally, I could see it being a good game, but at the same time, I could see New England Patriots running away with this one. The Patriots are very angry. They got a lot to prove right now. Bill Belichick probably most angry out of all these players right now, or all these guys basically in this organization right now. And Tom Brady obviously being the leader of most upset of all the players. So, and those are two guys you don't want to upset. These are two guys that have shared a lot of success together. And I'll be honest, I really expect a lot of scoring tonight, to be honest. I expect this to be a high-scoring game.
That's what I'm expecting. Mainly, I want to see what Tom Brady is going to come out and really play like.
All I know is that the last time this guy came out very angry, and he broke records. Yeah. And obviously he had a big-time target in Randy Moss, but that gets substituted with the big-time target tight end in Rob Gronkowski. I expect I expect a team that's going to show no remorse whatsoever. They're going to really try to go out there and prove a point, multiple points actually, especially after all the turmoil that's gone on throughout the entire off season for this team.
The thing with New England is their name has been in the news, any kind of NFL news, any kind of news. To be honest, they've been in every single thing, and obviously not for good reasons. So, it's constant with them that, it's bad press all year, all off season long. And I feel like this is a way of, kind of, nobody is really rooting for them. And this is for them to kind of play that.
Well, nobody was rooting for them back in, 2007 or 2000? Yeah. I mean, they got a lot to prove. Bill Belichick is one of those coaches that he will not show any sort of stoppage when it comes to his offense, especially if they got the way he's going. That I expect them to get the way he's going tonight, because Pittsburgh's defense is basically the one guy I can basically name on this team is Harrison. And this is a 40-year-old guy that's been, not 40, but he's in his high 30s right now. He's been in and out of organizations. He was in Cincinnati for a brief time. He's not the same player. I mean, he's definitely the same size. He's in incredible shape. Yeah, but he's back with Pittsburgh this year. Basically, the one name I could tell you from this team that's intimidating. You got an offensive line that's going to be struggling with the Pittsburgh Steelers with the loss of their center. Maurice Pouncey?
Yeah.
Mike Pouncey is one of them.
Yeah, Marquise, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be out for this team. This is going to be a team that's going to have a hard time running the football to begin with without their starting running back and Le'Veon Bell. And now you're looking at, an offensive line that, and a new center. And
really, if you really think about it, their offensive line has never really been good.
It's been okay, but
Ben Roethlisberger has been hit. Is always in like the top 5 of.
He does a great job of escaping.
Hits.
He's probably borderline one of the best guys at basically eliminating any kind of chance of getting pressure because of his ability to move with the football. I mean, and I'm talking about the feet work.
Well, he's a big boy too. He's a big boy too.
Yeah.
I mean, he can shake defenders.
He uses his feet really
maybe
well.
not by his elusiveness, because let's be serious, Ben Roethlisberger is not elusive at all. But just his strength, really, Hey, he's
not the toughest. He's not the easiest guy to get down. I mean,
not at all.
He's really a big presence. He basically he's always been a great player for a while. I mean, this guy, he won the Super Bowl in his rookie season or his second year?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
And he had an incredible rookie year to begin with as well. This is a very tough guy to get down.
Huge special Tom and Jerry Sports Show coming up to you live next Thursday. We really were supposed to have it this Thursday, but obviously today. But those plans have changed. It will come to you next Thursday, most likely around 2:00, I would have to say. So definitely be sure to listen in. Also join the Tom and Jerry Sports Show Pick'em Pool as well as our elimination pool on our website, tnjsports.weebly.com. It's free of charge, and you win a jersey if you win it.
A jersey of your choice too.
In both pools. So join both pools. You might as well. It's free.
Yep.
So don't just pick one. Pick both.
Yeah, man. Try to get double your chances. I mean, you never know. One game this year can ruin your chances, to be honest. And also to remember to join the conversation on Twitter at TNJ Sports.
Yeah, we want to hear your opinions on your picks for week 1. We're gonna do this every week.
Without a doubt. I want to try and move on as we continue our predictions and previews into this Sunday's games. You got a big game tonight, obviously, with Pittsburgh and New England. But moving on, we go on to 1:00, and to start, you got the Buffalo Bills playing host to the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah. This game.
This is a tricky game.
I think this is going to be a good game.
It is going to be a very good game.
To be honest with you, I mean, Buffalo's defense is looking really good. You don't know what you're going to get from the offense just because, I mean, Tyrod Taylor, I mean, how many games has he actually has started? So this is going to be a tricky game to pick. But before we really get into this game that much, we're going to take a phone call. How's it going? You're on the Tom and Jerry Sports Show. What's going on?
Hello.
How's it going?
Hey, guys. Terry from Poughkeepsie. What's going on?
Terry from Poughkeepsie, you're on the Tom and Jerry Sports Show. How you doing?
Doing good. What are we talking about? Football? Or are we going to get into the Mets completely knocking off the Nationals last night and dead in their hopes for the division?
Whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, man, that's why I mean, the New York Mets, an impressive sweep over the Washington Nationals, including 3 comebacks in every single game and a very impressive performance.
The Nationals really gave them the series. I mean, that was just, overall, it was horrendous if you're a Nationals fan or if you're just watching this game.
Well, they basically watched their playoff hopes go out the window. Can't you agree?
I agree 100%. I think the division's completely done now. The only 2 tough series that the Mets have now are both at home against the Yankees and the Nationals. And I feel like the Nationals can't do much anymore. They basically have given up. I never thought their offense was that good to begin with, and the pitching really just was a huge disappointment. I don't see much in their offense. I don't think their offense is that good.
No, aside from Bryce Harper, they really don't have anybody else, especially with the loss of Ryan Zimmerman, which could be more permanent, from what I heard.
Yeah, I would have to give these losses these past 3 games.
Hey, none of these games were low scoring.
I'm definitely giving it to Matt Williams. I mean, what is he thinking? I mean, bringing in Thorin the one night, walks 4 guys, gives up a base clearing double.
They had 6 walks in that inning too.
Then the next day, being yesterday, he brings them in again, and he gives up a home run to Cespedes. So I mean, overall, I would have to put all these losses on Matt Williams. He basically just threw away the Nationals' chances of even making the playoffs because, as we've said on this show, it's either you win the division or you're missing the playoffs in the NL East.
Yeah.
So
I'll be honest, the most impressive team this year by far, going at it 33-1 to win the World Series. That has definitely gone down with the recent sweep of the Washington Nationals. They are more than surely almost playoff bound.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. I think Matt Williams deserves to lose his job. The other night, not last night's game, 1 out in the 9th, no outs in the 9th, runner on first. He has Rendon bunting. What are you doing in that situation? I don't understand what you're doing in that situation. And then after the game, in the post game, he's telling the reporters that he bunted it too hard, which ruined the inning. Like you're throwing your guy under the bus. I don't understand. I think this guy deserves to lose his job.
Why are you having this guy bunt to begin with? It's more like it.
Exactly.
I mean, Rendon is not the best hitter.
Yeah, your second role without Zimmerman, second best offensive player. I don't get why you're having this guy bunt. This guy's more than capable.
Jason Worth might be the worst hitter I've ever seen. And when you see the amount of money that he's getting paid right now, it actually makes you very nauseous.
Yeah.
So, but listen, Terry, appreciate you calling in, man. We're actually going to take a break very shortly. Thanks again for the call. The New York Mets, once again, now 7.5 games up. If I'm right?
Yeah.
Wow,
I think
an impressive start for the New York Mets. They have played unbelievable.
So we're going to get
biggest shock in MLB right now.
We're going to get to our previews and picks when we get back. We're going to take a quick break on the Tom and Jerry Sports Show. Tom and Jerry Sports Show featuring Kevin Donlin live every Tuesday on Zeno Radio and re-airs Wednesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern on All Noise Radio and the Live 365 app.
Follow us on Instagram at Tom and Jerry Sports Show and join the conversation on Twitter at TNJ Sports or visit our website at tnjsports.weebly.com or call in to 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live. All right, we're going to get right back into the show. You're listening to the Tom and Jerry Sports Show. We're going to actually take another caller right now. And caller, you're on the air. You're on the Tom and Jerry Sports Show. How you doing?
How you doing? This is Chris Christophers from Franklin Square. How are we doing, Donnie?
How you doing, Chris Christophers? How you doing? How's everything?
I'm doing great. It's good. Glad about these Mets moving on, but why don't we get back to football? That's what today's all about.
Yeah, this is what the show's all about. You know, the football season just started.
I'm going to tell you one thing.
What's up, bud?
What you guys should look out for, that Colts-Bills matchup. A lot of Survivor people may go down on that game.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
A lot of survivor pools may be broken.
Yes, a lot of hopes might be broken in the process as well.
Take a look. I don't know the stats offhand, but I believe the last few years, division record for the Colts, 17-2, something like that. Outside of the division, I think it's 17-13.
Yeah, you got to remember,
that builds defense. I would.
Tough road game against a tough defense, and you got to remember the fans are going to be up and cheering with Rex Ryan behind the helm now. There's a lot of hope for Buffalo Bill fans this year. It's going to get very loud up there, and I'll be honest, it won't be easy for Andrew Luck in that offense.
Sounds right.
You got to remember, this is the same defense on the Indianapolis Colts that got basically annihilated by the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship. So
I mean, I wouldn't say that Buffalo's offense is really going to blow past Indianapolis, but they
might be able to. They probably have a better chance at scoring points, though. I'll be honest. It makes this a very, very tricky game, and a good point brought out right off the bat. Chris Christopher's nicely done.
I'll be honest. That's a game that you just stay away from.
Absolutely, man. And we're going to move on to the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. Is this a game you stay away from?
That is not a game you stay away from. That is a game where you call your grandparents and you ask them for every dollar that they have left in their bank account, and you put it on the Green Bay Packers money line. That's for sure.
Absolutely, man. The Green Bay Packers offense looks pretty deadly despite the loss of Jordy Nelson. I don't think it slows down one bit. That offensive line is definitely 1-0, and the Chicago Bear defense might be a top 5 worst defense in the entire NFL right now. They were brutal all season long.
Chris Christopher has to get back to work, but it was a pleasure speaking to you guys.
Hey, man, nice talking to you, man. He makes a great point. The Green Bay Packers, when we move on to this game, you look at the Green Bay Packers and Chicago Bears, this looks like a game the Green Bay Packers can take. I don't know if it'll be with ease, obviously being a road game, but that defense for the Chicago Bears has been absolutely brutal.
This game, I think, is going to be a blowout, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a lot that Jay Cutler might be able to possibly get done against the Green Bay defense. I'm not saying that the Green Bay defense is a sure lock to shut down any kind of an opponent, but at the same time, the Green Bay Packers defense is, it's definitely getting better as the years go along. They got this new safety, Clinton Dix, last year in the first round. Incredible player.
I was actually just hearing that the NFL is trying to look into suspending Clay Matthews for something that he's taking right now. It was something that I kind of grazed upon. I didn't really get into it too much. I didn't really read into it too much, but supposedly he's taking something that is helping him, and that the NFL is going to look to try to suspend him, but I really don't see it happening. You really haven't heard that much of it, at least. But other than that, I mean, I think this game, this Green Bay Chicago game, is really going to be a blowout. I don't really see it being close. Chicago overall, even with the loss of Kevin White, everybody thought that having Alshon Jeffrey and then Kevin White will definitely help Cutler, but other than that, I mean, and then losing Kevin White kind of sucks for the Bears, and their defense is really not something that will help either. I definitely fully expect Aaron Rodgers to really have a clinic.
Yeah, he should be able to air it out against the Bears defense with ease, and I think the Green Bay Packers pick right here is definitely, I think it'll be able to carry the load right there. But let's move on to the next one.
We really haven't kind of made our picks known. But I mean, for the first game, who are you picking?
What do you mean
for tonight's game?
Oh, well, tonight's game, I'm definitely going to go with the New England Patriots. I expect them to be very angry as we move on. The Indianapolis Colts, Buffalo Bills. Again, this is exactly what Chris Christopher was just talking about. This is a tough game. This is basically a game that can go either way. But I'm gonna put more trust in the Indianapolis Colts to definitely make upgrades on that offense, to definitely have enough offense to be able to take care of this game. I'm going to go with the Colts in that one. Obviously the Packers, and we move on to the next one.
I mean, I think I'm in full agreement with you in the first 3 games that we just went into. Definitely the Patriots. Definitely. I mean, Indianapolis and Buffalo, that's where I'm kind of on the fence, but I just don't think that Buffalo's offense will be able to, keep up with Indianapolis.
It's only because this game's in Buffalo. It makes it a tough game for the Colts right now. It's going to be very loud up there. It's opening. It's the opening week of the season.
Buffalo's really a tough place to play. But then, I got to go with Green Bay.
Yeah.
Next one, Houston and Kansas City. In Houston, Houston coming off of Hard Knocks. Everybody knows what's going on with that team.
Yeah.
I think Kansas City's going to be a lot better this year. They had a tough year last year. I feel like that their team, this year, I think they're going to be pretty decent this year.
I mean, Kansas City's got a great ball manager in, Alex Smith.
He doesn't make any. He doesn't make any
Definitely doesn't. But you're also playing the defense first week of the season that actually forced more turnovers than any other team last year. So, the Houston Texans being at home with that defense, that's going to be my pick, despite the fact that there are uncertainties at quarterback. Obviously, a backup running back. This is probably not a pick a lot of people will agree with, but that defense is very, very scary. They actually do basically have Jadeveon Clowney now on that defensive line. It makes it a very tough team to run against. I don't know if Charles will be able to get a lot done.
Vince Wilfork, J.J. Watt, that whole
the defensive line is going to be incredibly intimidating, and it's going to be very tough to score on them.
Brian Cushing back.
Yep.
This front seven definitely is going to be a tough team to face. But on the other side of the ball, I think that's where their problem is going to be with Houston.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to get from Brian Hoyer. I've always, complimented Brian Hoyer. I've always really liked him since he started with Cleveland and everything, and I feel like we got to see what he shows. I don't know what you're going to get from him. Even Ryan Mallett, even if, Brian Hoyer doesn't play well, I mean, what are you going to get from Ryan Mallett, too? I mean, another guy that really hasn't started.
Listen, there's no doubt.
Not having Arian Foster hurt.
This is going to be a very, very close game. I'm basically going with Houston because I trust that defense at home. And that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Their offense is intimidating me at all.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you don't really know. To be honest with you, I think you got to go with Houston just because of having the best NFL player in the league.
He's an unstoppable force. I'll be honest. There isn't an offensive line that's going to stop him all year. But moving on, we go on to the Carolina Panthers. They'll be heading down to Jacksonville.
Suicide pools. I think this is the pick that a lot of people would go for. Carolina over Jacksonville.
It definitely isn't too much of a lock, though. I'll be honest.
But you know what? There's no lock this week, and you know what? Week one is definitely the toughest to pick because you don't know what these teams are going to have. You don't know what team you're going to get. You don't know what any team. You don't know if New England's going to come out and basically have their Super Bowl team, play, basically feeding off of their Super Bowl win, or they're just going to come out totally a different team. You don't know what you're going to get from, and that's week one. That you have no idea week one.
Yeah, I mean, we're going into this game a little bit more with, Carolina, Jacksonville. I mean, this is a Jacksonville defense that has gotten better and better every year. Obviously,
absolutely.
The offense with the rookie quarterback, he's in his second year now, and Blake Bortles, what it comes down to is that this guy has got no targets. I mean, aside from an Allen Robertson and, obviously, they got, T.J. Yeldon starting at running back, very unpredictable running back. You don't know what you're going to get out of him. I'll be honest, with this game, neither team has an intimidating offense. I think Cam Newton, basically, to some point has to excel his game. And it's a big question mark whether he's going to be able to do that. I mean, he is a couple of years in the league now at this point. He should be he's considered a veteran at this point now, Cam Newton.
He absolutely is a veteran. But you know what? You don't know how he's going to really come out with the
I've
loss
seen this guy have bad games, and I've seen him have great
God.
games. So this is actually probably one of the tougher picks of today. For me, when it comes down to it, neither offense is really too intimidating. This is going to be a very low-scoring game, if you were to ask me.
I think one player would have changed this pick. Having Kelvin Benjamin definitely hurts. But also news from basically talking about these two teams. Carolina, Luke Kuechly was signed to I think it was a 6-year deal.
You want to talk about one of the best players in the league, man.
God.
Luke Kuechly is actually should be considered as one of the best linebackers in the NFL right now. He, if not one, the best. I mean, he was unbelievable. He's actually basically my wild card and why I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers in this game. But by no means is this going to be an easy game for the Carolina Panthers. I think the Jacksonville defense is very, very good. It's going to be very tough to score on either side for these teams. Carolina winning this game basically off the leadership of Cam Newton. I mean, I don't think that Jacksonville has the leadership yet in Blake Bortles. I mean, but you know what? This is a new year, new season. Anything can happen. Blake Bortles can show a lot of leadership. And
he signed a 5-year deal, $62 million extension. He's got 502 tackles in the last 3 years. This is definitely a guy that deserves this kind of money. And to be honest with you, I think I put him in as the number one linebacker in the league.
Who'd you pick for this one?
I think you got to go Carolina.
I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a road game right off the bat for the kid. I honestly, I'm basing it off the leadership and, him being a veteran and Cam Newton. And that basically being the wild card and why I'm going to pick this game. But,
we'll go with the Seattle St. Louis game. This game is one of my favorite games of the week, actually. This one and the New Orleans-Arizona game. St. Louis seems to play Seattle very well every year.
Well, they play them tough because they are a tough team. They have a very good defense.
This game is in St. Louis.
Yep.
We obviously know how different the Seahawks are, away from Seattle. So this is a tough game. I want to see how Russell Wilson uses Jimmy Graham, but I also want to see how the St. Louis defense really sticks it to Seattle's offense.
I mean, I'll be honest. This is a tough game as well. As much basically as all these games are right now. The Seattle, Seahawks obviously not being at home, not being with that crowd, it's a huge advantage for their defense. St. Louis will have their own opportunity to use their crowd to basically, try to shut out, Russell Wilson and company. But again, the same thing as the Carolina Panthers. I'm basically going to base this off the leadership qualities of Russell Wilson as opposed to the leadership qualities and the newly coming of, Nick Foles being the starting quarterback for the St. Louis, Rams. Aside from Brian Quick, I don't see too many targets for this kid. You got a rookie running back that I don't even think is going to be ready to play in Todd Gurley.
He's not. They're saying 3 weeks to 4 weeks that he's not going to be playing.
And Trey Mason as well is going to be missing this
out.
game. So St. Louis is
right
definitely
there, two top
they got
running backs out.
They have a lot of trouble right now on the offensive side of the ball. I think that this again will be a very low scoring game as well. Obviously, I'm going to go with Seattle in this one.
Yeah, I'm going with Seattle.
Just basically off the leadership once
Actually,
again.
you know what? I'm picking different from you. I'm going St. Louis.
I can understand where you're going. I'm picking Seattle with, crossing my fingers at the same time. So I'm just basically, again, leadership is basically trumping everything right now. So
yeah, and we're going to get back to, the rest of the 1 o'clock games and then into the 4 o'clock and primetime games on the Tom and Jerry Sports Show.
We'll be right back.
Tom and Jerry Sports Show featuring Kevin Donlin live every Tuesday on Zeno Radio and re-airs Wednesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern on All Noise Radio and the Live 365 app.
Follow us on Instagram at Tom and Jerry Sports Show and join the conversation on Twitter at TNJ Sports or visit our website at tnjsports.weebly.com or call in to 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live.
Go and do it for me. Now watch me whip. Kill it. Now watch me nay-nay. Okay. Now watch me whip. Watch me nay-nay. Why me do it? Now watch me whip. Kill it. Watch me nay-nay. Okay. Now watch me whip. Watch me nay-nay. Can you do it? Now watch me. Ooh.
How you doing? We are back. You're speaking with Jerry and Kevin, and we are taking calls at 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live. We actually, we're continuing with the 1 o'clock games. Obviously, we're going to go with the Miami Dolphins as they'll head down to Washington, or up to Washington, to take on the Washington Redskins. Washington, basically, right now, one of those teams, Kirk Cousins is at the helm right now. This team, since Kirk Cousins has been the starting quarterback, an abysmal 2-7 in his starts. This is basically, it comes down to, it comes down to, what team you're going to trust more here. Miami, obviously, a lot of people are talking high on this right now. It's a good...
With Washington, I mean, you really, with everything that's going on with RG3 and all that, I feel like this is just going to be too much, to handle for this team.
And it's blowing up.
And I think Miami's going to be a lot different this year. I think Miami's actually going to be pretty good.
Yeah, honestly, Washington's offensive line is abysmal. A lot of people are trying to criticize RG3 as being not getting rid of the ball quick enough and why he's getting sacked a lot. But Kirk Cousins hasn't been much better. This offensive line is still a struggle. And right now, I'm going with Miami because with that defensive line and what they've added and Dominic Sue, I think he's going to have a field day.
I'm going with that too.
So we're going to actually take a call right now. What's up, buddy? You're on the Tom and Jerry Sports Show. Hello?
You're on the air.
Hello?
Okay. Hello, how you doing?
You're on the air. Hello?
You guys hearing me or not?
Yeah, we hear you. What's going on?
This is Patrick Donlin.
How you doing, bud? What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? I didn't know if I pressed the button or not. So I got an auction draft tonight. Got an auction draft tonight.
Oh, wow, that's actually a different style. People are not sure what that is. There's a snake draft and an auction draft kind of styles. Auction is obviously where you're bidding on players. There's no particular order or when to select a player, as opposed to a snake draft.
What do you guys think about Le'Veon Bell this year?
Le'Veon Bell.
I mean, in most rankings this year, I mean, they have him either 1 or 2. Basically in the best players, I guess.
It really depends at the same time. Is this a PPR league?
Yes, it is. Half point.
Okay, well, I mean, Le'Veon Bell is going to be a threat coming out of the backfield for this team. I mean, running the football, obviously we've seen what we've seen out of him in the recent season. Obviously, the first 2 games this year could make an impact, but if this guy's going to go for the same amount of money as basically anybody else in that top 5, it really just depends on how much you can get him for in the auction style. What's your max on him?
I'm not trying to go higher than probably about 50 on it. I'm working with a $225 bank.
Okay. You're talking about 1/5 close to. I mean, he's a great player. He's definitely obviously in that top 5 of the rankings this season for a reason. But he's not going to have his starting center, so the inside, running routes might not be there for him early on in the season, based on whoever they got as their backup. But they were pretty strong on this guy, Maurice Pouncey, going into the season. So it was actually a big story coming out of Pittsburgh in the off season. And obviously him missing the first 2 games of the season. So, I mean, if you can get him for a shorter dollar and basically the rest of these top 5, then I would say go with him. It just really depends on how much people are willing to go for him.
It's a good point. I forgot about his center being out tonight.
Yeah, and tonight and for the next couple of weeks as well. He's going to be out for at least the first half of the season. But who else are you looking at?
I'm pretty high on AP. I think I'm gonna go take a big splash on him tonight. I'll probably go as high as 80.
I can understand. I mean, this guy is definitely he's angry. He's just as angry as Tom Brady and Bill Belichick are right now. So I expect that guy to run with vengeance. I mean, people forget. Sometimes people do forget. Peyton Manning, people forgot about how good he was. He came out with a splash. And I think AP's going to do something super similar to that.
I agree, guys. Thanks a lot for your help.
All right, man. Thanks again, man. Thanks for calling.
Have a good one.
All right, bye.
Well, before that phone call, we were going into our predictions for this week's games. We want to continue with our 1 o'clock.
We're going to get into the Cleveland and Jets game. Obviously, a lot of people want to hear what we think about this game.
It'll be biased for me. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to go the New York Jets.
Well, that's what
I'll make it obvious. I'm a biased Jets fan, and
we were going to go into that before this last segment, but I figured we were going to want to talk about this a little bit. We probably got a lot of Jets fans listening to us, being that we're in the New York area and we know a lot of New York people, obviously. So we're going to get into the Jets game, and obviously we'll get into the Giants game as well. Mainly because they're playing the Cowboys, and obviously everybody knows that I'm a Cowboys fan. So first, we'll get into the Jets game. Cleveland Jets. I don't know. I mean, it Manziel's the quarterback is the starter or
no? They're going to go with Josh
right?
McCown to start the season.
I mean, look, there is just you know,
there's a guy on their team, Duke Johnson. And this is a guy that I actually was very high on in draft boards. This guy could be very, very good. The one problem with him, and the reason why I wouldn't go as early as a lot of people did go on Duke Johnson, is because of his injury risk. I mean, this guy's getting injured left and right in preseason and in training camp. And if you obviously, that's not even close to full contact at that point. So for him to be getting hurt at practice could make a big impact. This could be a guy that has a hard time getting onto the field. And honestly, if they had him in the lineup this week, it would make it a dangerous game for the New York Jets. But the Jets, they got a great team right now. I mean, obviously with the loss of Sheldon Richardson, they bring in Williams to replace him on the defensive line. That secondary gets just as intimidating as the front seven. So
you really got to thank God that he actually dropped down to where he did, Leonard Williams. If you're a Jets fan, and obviously because nobody knew that Sheldon Richardson was going to be an idiot and drive at an absurd mile per hour with weed and a gun in the car. So having him out and then basically filling in Leonard Williams is big. And
the way
it's huge that they drafted him.
Honestly,
that he dropped down that far.
Being a Jet fan, obviously, I'm going to be biased in this game, and I'm going to go with the New York Jets. But there's a lot more that goes into it. With Ryan Fitzpatrick at the helm, a lot of people have question marks about this guy and how he's going to be able to perform. I have no problem with it. This is coming from a Jet fan. I really don't mind him at behind center. I wouldn't have minded Geno Smith right now. I think there's a lot more that goes into it than just that starting quarterback. But the way I see it is that your offense couldn't have gotten worse than it's been in the past couple of seasons. So, and the Jets have found ways to win games even in these abysmal offensive seasons. So, I mean, you can give a lot of that credit to Rex Ryan. Todd Bowles is, an equally brilliant guy when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. Basically good blitz packages, all this kind of stuff. So
you're obviously picking the Jets. I'm picking the Jets as well. What I really wanted to get into when we were talking about the Jets, Brandon Marshall came out. Obviously, he's a host on Inside the NFL on Showtime. He came out and said that race plays a part in all of the the punishments, and mainly in the Tom Brady incident.
Well, Ray Rice got 2 games for basically what this guy is saying is trying to get a headline of a newspaper. That's how I see it.
Ray Rice got off. His appeal was won. He got off. Adrian Peterson playing football. So where is Race playing any type of?
Well, again, this is just basically Brandon Marshall trying to get a headline of a newspaper.
And this
That's
is
Roger
Goodell. Roger Goodell. First of all, if anybody doesn't know who Roger Goodell is, he's white. But he's the one that suspended Tom Brady for 4 games. So where is race being played in this when it came down to the judge?
This is just. I'll be honest. This is a story that's basically just stupid. As stupid as it was in the newspaper.
I mean, it was just like when I first read this, I was like, this is the most idiotic thing I've ever read and ever heard from a player of this magnitude, and it's just I thought it was one of the stupidest things that
it literally is just him trying to get a headline. And honestly, I don't even really want to continue with this. I mean, Brandon Marshall, he's been stupid in the past, but I don't even think he's on the on that show anymore.
I was watching him on the other day.
Well, I heard I remember from what I heard, the Chicago Bears and the organization in general
they were pissed about it.
They did not like the fact that he was on this show. And I mean, when it comes to the New York Jets, I think the Jets are just proud. Honestly, just happy to get a receiver at 6 foot whatever. Honestly, for
to have a receiver, obviously of that magnitude as well.
Basically, at this point, I mean, this guy he's still got a lot left in the tank. I've seen this guy catch balls over the years, and he's got incredible hands. I really want to, again, this is why I'm so happy football's back. I mean, for these kind of stories to go on and left and right, this is what everyone wants to talk about.
Exactly.
And once you start seeing the play on the football field, man, that's when it all turns to just perform on the field, and everyone forgets about everything else. That goes for Tom Brady. I mean, you just feel bad for Ray Rice. You wish Ray Rice can be back on the field so everyone can forget about that incident as well. Not really forget it, but, just, get your performance to try to speak, for why you belong back in the league. I think a lot of people are being very harsh on Ray Rice about this whole situation. I can't believe he didn't get one try out of training camp. That's incredible.
That's what I was.
There's a lot of teams that need help at the running back position right now.
I mean, we even came out on the show thinking that we had,
Yeah, I thought he was going to the Dallas Cowboys, to be honest with you.
We thought we had some inside scoop. On this whole, Ray Rice thing, and we thought that he was going to be in,
It really is a major shocker that he's not on a football team right now. Adrian Peterson's back and better than ever. I expect him to be performing absolutely well.
Mainly because nobody wanted to get rid of it.
Well,
the Vikings didn't want to get rid of it.
It takes a 200-yard game, and people are going to just start to put this in as
that's what I'm saying. If Ray Rice was, as a fan, you don't want to, that bringing someone like Ray Rice in is just going to bring the wrong type of press. But, to be honest with you, though, would you be mad if, Ray Rice was brought into the Jets?
Well, I do like what we have at the running back position.
What I'm just saying,
we have plenty of running backs.
I wouldn't be upset. People take the off-field, stuff with these players way too seriously. I guess we'll get back.
Just bring the sport back, man. Once you start seeing these guys on the the gridiron, we'll start forgetting all about these off the field issues with Sheldon Rich. All that, just perform on the field, and that's really a lot of these fans are really all they care about.
We're gonna get into the 4:00 games, the primetime games, and then some stardom sit-em for tonight, and Fantasy 14 on the Tom and Jerry Sports Show. Tom and Jerry Sports Show featuring Kevin Donlin live every Tuesday on Zeno Radio and re-airs Wednesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern on All Noise Radio and the Live 365 app.
Follow us on Instagram at Tom and Jerry Sports Show and join the conversation on Twitter at TNJ Sports or visit our website at tnjsports.weebly.com or call in to 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live.
One mind, one team, one heart, one player through the hole, one goal from the start. Dominate the art of the black and blue and watch the Super Bowl dreams till they all come true.
How you doing? The Jerry Sports Show, Fantasy 14. How you doing? We're back. Tom and Jerry Sports Show now has its very own app. If you have an Android phone, be sure to download it through the Google Play Store. You're speaking with Tom, Jerry, and Kevin. We're taking calls 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live. And don't forget to join our pool as well and our elimination pool at tnjsports.weebly.com. And a huge special Tom and Jerry Sports Show coming to you live next Thursday, September 17th. Be sure to listen in. We're finishing up with the 1 o'clock games, but we're going to quickly move back to the 4 o'clock games. We're going to go, with the Arizona and New Orleans.
This is my other game that I thought was going to be a really good one, just because of, Arizona is a very good team. They really are. And then I feel like New Orleans is going to be a different team than they were last year. I don't think you're going to see the same New Orleans Saints that we saw last year. They were pretty bad last year.
I would say as a team they're going to be a very bad team. I really don't see them. It's going to have a hard time winning games. They might be able to win games in their own division, but when you're taking on the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona right off the bat, I think I'm basically going to go with the Arizona Cardinals hands down to win this game.
Too.
But moving on, we're going to go with the San Diego Chargers. They'll play host to the Detroit Lions, and this is a tricky one.
This is in San Diego too, so
this is a really tricky one. I'm going to go quick and just right off the bat. I'm going to tell you, I think the San Diego Chargers got a great chance to win this game despite all their losses on offense.
So do I. I feel like San Diego's going to win this game.
There possibly could be no Ladarius Green for this team, no Antonio Gates. You're looking at no tight ends for this team, as well as, basically a lot coming into play. But we're actually going to take a call right now.
Yo.
We're still trying to. How you doing?
How's it going?
No, I'm on the air, kid.
Yeah, bud. What's going on?
What's up, darling?
What's up, buddy? How are you? You have any questions?
What do you think about the Jets this year?
I'm a big fan. I think I really think the Jets could be a good team this year. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick at the helm to start the season off. Again, I've said it before on this show. This is a guy in Ryan Fitzpatrick in a Chan Gailey offense that, performed very well with, Stevie Johnson as your number one receiver. Now you give this guy Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker. I expect an upgrade on the New York Jets offense, and obviously the New York Jets defense is going to be pretty intimidating.
Yeah, I'm telling you now, man, we're going to win the Super Bowl this year.
It'd be nice.
That's a very bold prediction.
Yes,
very bold.
But it's been a while, so I can understand where he's going at, man. I got the faith too, baby. I'll tell you.
This is the year. I'm telling you guys.
Oh yeah, definitely. Without a doubt, man.
Remember this phone call.
Oh, I will, man. I got you, bro. I even got the date, September 10th, baby. I got you. Thanks for the call, brother.
But I think Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh my damn. Oops. Sorry about that, Kim. My apologies about that. You had just gotten cut off. We're very short on time right now. We want to really try and get into the rest of these games and the rest of the predictions before the end of the show. But moving on, we have Baltimore heading up to Denver to take on the Broncos, the almighty Broncos. This is basically a game where I'm going to go Denver Broncos. Obviously, they're a pretty sizable favorite in this game. But Denver, obviously, with the upgrades on the NFL, on the defensive side, they're still a great team.
They really are.
Peyton Manning, they might try to run the ball a lot more, but
when you're looking at this team now, obviously losing Julius Thomas this year to Jacksonville it hurts a little bit because he was definitely other than Demaryius Thomas, he was really his number one target. And now Demaryius Thomas is the one that really has to, take over with this team as that number one target. And he's going to get double teams now. There's not going to be any of that, we got to watch out for Julius Thomas as well. So this is definitely going to be an interesting offense to watch with Peyton Manning.
Baltimore's going to have its own troubles, man. That's what it comes down to on my pick. Baltimore's going to have their own troubles right now.
But is Peyton Manning going to be the Peyton Manning that we've been watching for the last couple of years?
He doesn't have to be a gunslinger anymore, though. That's the thing. I mean, they definitely upgraded their offensive line big time for a reason because they're trying to get that running game going, and that's basically what it comes down to. But moving on, we're going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They'll play host to the Tennessee Titans, and this is to battle the rookie quarterbacks, number 1 and number 2 overall pick, going at each other right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean. It's a tough game to pick because Mike Evans has missed back-to-back practices for Tampa Bay. Definitely thinking that he was going to be Jameis Winston's, basically his security blanket.
Well, I'm basically taking this to the another level. I'm not even trying to look on that side of the ball when I look at this game. I look at both rookie quarterbacks definitely having a hard time. I mean, obviously, talking about new systems, trying to learn it in one training camp is absolutely impossible. I mean, a lot of people like to believe you can come out and bring a rookie quarterback and perform right off the bat. There isn't a lot of guys. It's a very rare occurrence you're going to see an NFL quarterback go into a new system right off the bat and perform. The big reason why I didn't like Nick Foles and the St. Louis, Rams to win their game against the Seattle Seahawks, basically the defending runner-up, team in defending NFC champs. But moving on with this game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a very good defense. And, the Tennessee Titans obviously still have their little holes on their defense. And this is a big reason why I'm going to lean to Tampa Bay. They are at home. This could be an easy win for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, probably the only easy win they'll see all year. So
yeah, I'll go with Tampa Bay as well.
We got to move on really quick. My apologies.
This is obviously a big game that everybody else wants to hear. Giants, Cowboys, Sunday Night Football. I'm excited for this game, obviously being that I'm a Cowboys fan. So I'm not even going to pick this game. This is a game that I'm staying away from.
I'll pick it for you because I'm not biased at all, and I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to no doubt win this game. The New York Giants, obviously, Their defensive side of the ball still has a lot of question marks. They were giving up a lot of points all preseason. It's been a tough road for the New York Giants with a lot of losses they've had in this offseason. Their offense is going to be definitely 1-0. The Dallas Cowboy defense is definitely going to have a hard time stopping the Giants. This could be a high-scoring game.
Usually is.
Every time these two teams meet.
I would say in the 30s.
I really don't think that, there aren't a lot of teams that are going to have a cornerback that can stop Odell Beckham Jr., but I definitely don't think the Dallas Cowboys right now have a cornerback that's going to be able to stop him.
See, now I see it as a different way with Odell. And I'm going to be honest with you, and obviously a lot of people...
Don't be biased, man. Don't be biased.
You know what? It may have a little bit to do with being biased, but not a lot of people are going to like this. I don't think Odell is going to have that great of a season this year. I don't think he's going to have the season that everybody thinks he's going to have.
Have you seen him at training camp? He's still making these catches, man.
Keywords, training camp. He's going against the team that you just said, the Giants defense that is not that good. All right, so anybody on that Giants defense, can anybody stop Odell Beckham Jr.?
I'll be honest with you, it's going to be tough to stop the Giants offense. I'm not going to hate on the Giants offense.
Well, first of all, Victor Cruz is going to probably be out this game, so that's a big loss. And second of all, I mean, they're playing Odell Beckham a lot differently.
This is going to be a tough game for the Giants. There's no way the Giants...
all the teams were playing him differently, mainly roughing him up at the line, and it showed that he didn't obviously have that great of a preseason at least. The one-handed catches. All right, every wide receiver can make one-handed catches.
Yeah, well,
but this is what I'm saying. Like, it's not.
This guy was unstoppable in the last couple of games of the season. I don't think you remember this.
I do remember this.
There was nobody that could guard him.
I do remember this. But
the Dallas Cowboys are going to have a hard time stopping them. But the Giants had no shot at stopping the Dallas Cowboys. That's how I see it.
But what I'm saying is, everybody's crowning this guy way too early, and just because of one catch, and I don't.
Well, it wasn't just one catch. You won your fantasy league because of him last year. I know 9 players out of 10 that have won a fantasy championship last year won because they picked up Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah.
That's how good he was in the last couple of games of the season.
I don't doubt that. He had an incredible end of the season.
And so did Eli Manning. It wasn't just him. Eli Manning got him the ball very.
But again, Eli. First of all, Eli is the reason that he had to make these one-handed catches. Nobody realizes that was a horrendous throw that he made that one-handed catch against the Cowboys.
That was against the Cowboys?
Yes, it was against the Cowboys.
I know.
I was there.
I know. No, I'm just messing around. I knew the whole time.
I was live. I was there live. So, I was at the 50-yard line for that game. I thought it was, what?
So you didn't get the best view of it. I did. On my couch, I got a great view of it. It was nice and close up, too. It was crazy.
But you know what? Did you get a close-up view of that horrendous throw that Eli Manning made for that? Odell saved him.
Eli Manning made a lot of good throws towards the end of the season. They're going to have a tough offense. I'm not trying to argue with you over this, but I'll be honest with you, it's not going to be an easy game for them.
I am trying to argue with you.
The Dallas Cowboys are going to score on the New York Giants with ease, but the Dallas Cowboys defense is nothing intimidating whatsoever. There really isn't a lot of intimidation on that defense, aside from your middle linebacker. I would say he's a great, coverage guy. But stopping the run is going to be a challenge for them. It really is. The Dallas Cowboys.
Stopping our run, or
no, stopping other opposing teams' run.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, once we get Greg Hardy back.
But you don't have him in this game.
No, we don't have him.
This isn't going to be like a walk in the park, but I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, back and forth.
Well, definitely.
Neither defense is going to be too intimidating.
I think our front line on defense is going to be a lot different this year. We're going to get a lot of sacks this year. Randy Gregory has shown that he. Thank the Lord that we drafted this guy, and as deep as we did.
I do like him. I think he's going to be definitely a good upgrade for the Cowboy defense.
Unbelievable. So this is definitely going to be it's a Dallas Cowboy New York Giant game. It's always going to be coming down to the wire. It's always going to be high scoring. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game, and I would not be surprised if it's the best game of the week.
Well, I'm going to go, listen, when it comes down to push or shove, I really think there's no chance the Giants stop the Dallas Cowboys. There is a slight chance the Dallas Cowboys could, put a little bit of stoppage on Eli Manning, and that's basically why I'm leaning to the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think either defense is going to be intimidating in this game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair, like you said, usual game, big reason probably why it's Sunday Night Football, prime time. But moving on, we got 3 more games to go. Moving on, we're going to go with the Oakland Raiders, and this is actually going to be my upset of the week. They're playing the Cincinnati Bengals at home, and they're definitely not going to be favorites.
Oakland?
Yeah, I'm going to go Oakland. I think the Oakland Raiders defense is definitely upgraded in the last couple of seasons. I think Cincinnati's defense is very good.
I think their offense is upgraded.
I don't think
Oakland.
I don't think Andy Dalton is intimidating whatsoever. I mean, I think AJ Green's an incredible talent. I think that even their other receiver on the other side, what's his name? He was very good last year, and he's
Sanu?
Mohamed Sanu. He's a great player. They get that. They're getting another receiver back as well. They have a lot of weapons on that. A lot of good running game too. They have one of the best offensive lines. But I think the Oakland Raiders defense is definitely with the crowd behind them. It's going to make it tough for that offense. And this is going to be my upset of the week right now. The Oakland Raiders to upset the Cincinnati Bengals.
You know what? I'm going to go with my upset of the week on the next one.
Yeah, who are we going? Monday night now.
Yeah, I think I'm going Atlanta over Philly.
Philly. I mean, Atlanta
and I mean,
being at home.
if you really think about it, I'm just going off of what I think. I think Philly's going to be the favorite.
Yeah, they'll definitely be the favorite.
Team.
The Atlanta Falcons.
So I'm going to go with Atlanta.
Atlanta Falcons are going to be able to score points. There's no doubt about it, and I can understand where you're going with that. They could definitely be winners this week. I'm going to go with Philly, just basically because I think Philly made a lot of upgrades on the defensive side.
This is another team that I just feel like everybody is just way too high on, and I don't think that, I really don't think that they're that good as everybody thinks they are.
Well, Atlanta's defense is that bad. That's what I say.
Yeah, I understand
That's
that.
The only thing I see.
When we're talking about Atlanta, yeah, I can see that, but just Philly as a team, I just feel like everybody's just talking them up way too much. I mean, Sam Bradford, how many games has he played the last 3 years?
Yeah,
how many games has he played the last 3 years?
But he's playing this week.
He is.
And
DeMarco Murray, what did he do before this past season? Seriously, I mean, like, what did DeMarco Murray do other than this last season? You take this last season.
Oh, he's
away.
going to eat apart the Atlanta Falcons defense just because Atlanta's that bad. I mean, Atlanta's defense is going to be abysmal. I don't really think there's a chance they're going to be able to stop Philly in this game. It's going to be another high-scoring affair. Again, why it's primetime.
You add Ryan Matthews. I mean, how many times how many games has he played the last couple of years? Who's there? They're going to have a number like a rookie.
Yeah.
Be their number one wide receiver as well.
He's not a rookie anymore.
Well, Aguilar.
Oh, I think you were talking about Jordan Matthews.
Jordan Matthews, yeah, I forgot about Jordan Matthews. But, I mean, even him.
And Aguilar's a big target. I mean, listen, it's going to come down to the wire with these two teams. I personally don't see it. I think Philadelphia wins this game with ease only because Atlanta's not going to be able to stop anybody. And I mean anybody.
Yeah.
They're going to have one of the worst defenses in the league by far.
I think
all year long.
I'm mainly going off of
That's my bold
hope.
statement, is that I think they're going to have one of the worst defenses in the league this year by far. They haven't made any upgrades.
Yeah.
And
I'm
finishing off the week though.
I'm just kind of going off of hope. I hope the Eagles go down.
Yeah, Eagles early season lead in that division.
Yeah, exactly.
We want to finish off with the Minnesota Vikings. They'll be heading down to San Francisco to take on the 49ers, the depleted 49ers.
Straight up Minnesota.
Yeah,
I think Teddy Bridgewater is going to have a big game in this game.
This might be an exciting game. I think this has potential to be one of the most exciting games of the week, to be honest.
And I'm kind of upset that it's a 10:30 game.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're going to make that if you're going to make a 10:30 game, obviously Monday night they always have two Monday night games for week one. But if you're going to do that, make the Philly game the 10:30 game. Who cares about watching Philly and Atlanta?
Yeah,
I mean, let's be serious. I mean, obviously, I'm going to watch that game.
There'll be a lot of scoring in that game. I think this won't be a high-scoring game, but a very, very. It won't be the highest scoring game, this Minnesota-San Fran game, but.
I think Adrian Peterson's going to run all over San Francisco's defense. San Francisco's defense is absolutely. I don't even think you could say depleted. It's really that bad.
A lot of question marks coming out of this team.
They've had, I think, 6 retirements this
yeah, it was really crazy.
I mean,
probably one of the craziest off seasons for one team I've ever seen.
Yeah,
in my life.
And especially on one side of the ball. It wasn't just on like a whole team. It was really only on the defensive side. I mean, when you lose, Patrick Willis by far, just losing Patrick Willis hurts.
Yeah.
But everybody else that they lost, I mean, it's tough. It was a tough pill to swallow for San Francisco this year.
This won't be the easiest win for Minnesota.
No, it won't be the
I'm going to go with San Fran to disagree with you here, only
really?
because San Fran's at home.
San Fran's at home. Yes, I understand.
And
that.
Minnesota's got a lot to prove still. I think Teddy Bridgewater started to show signs of what he could be towards the end of the season last year. Having Adrian Peterson, behind him every down will make it a lot big of an impact and actually a lot less focus off him. So it can make Minnesota a dangerous team. But San Fran, at home, the defense has been depleted, but I still think there's still a lot of
I'd say
there's still a lot of things over there that they got going for them. They were a very, very good team.
Adrian Peterson, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. Adrian Peterson, week 1.
Man, it's gonna be tough in San Fran. But guys, thanks for listening. We really appreciate all the listeners today. If we missed your call, keep trying to call in. It's not easy to get a call through here. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Listen, join the Tom and Jerry Sports Show Pick'em pool as well as our elimination pool. Obviously, it ends, in a few hours. The first game is at 8:30 tonight. We got 5 hours from right now. 5 hours to join these pools. Join both of them. They're both free. You get a jersey if you win one of them, or you get a jersey if you win both of them. And if you win both of them, you get 2. We have a huge special Tom and Jerry Sports Show coming up live on Thursday, September 17th. We will be here on Tuesday as well. We're going to give our picks, previews, recaps of Week 1. Definitely join the conversation on Twitter at TNJ Sports. Check out our website, tnjsports.weebly.com. We also have a listener page, listen.zenolive.com/TNJ Sports. We have a bunch of things going on right now. Definitely, if you're listening, you obviously know the number, but it's 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live. Tom and Jerry Sports Show now has its very own app as well. If you have an Android phone, be sure to download that at the Google Play Store. But again, big, huge Tom and Jerry Sports Show next Thursday, September 17th. We'll give you the time if you follow us on Twitter.
Be sure to listen in.
Definitely listen in. We got some big news that day. But that will do it for the show.
Thanks for listening, folks. Appreciate it.
I'm Jerry.
I'm Kevin.
Be breezy.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Tom and Jerry Show.
On All Noise Radio.